In today's edition of Kentucky Derby Fact or Fiction, I'm going to answer the question whether a horse based in Japan can win the Kentucky Derby. And I'm going to look specifically at two horses, Luxor Cafe and Admire Daytona. Now, Luxor Cafe is truly based in Japan. He's only raced in Japan. That's not true of Admire Daytona, who won the UAE Derby last time. But both of these horses have actually faced each other in Japan. And Luxor Cafe is a horse that I think stands a pretty good shot of getting it done, and I'll explain why. First of all, let's take a look at his last race in the I know that's not the name of the race. His last prep race. I won't try to pronounce it, but take a look at this effort. Just incredibly impressive. He's wide the entire way, wins by 5 lengths, just explodes down the stretch, and does something else that I like with Kentucky Derby contenders, and that is he started moving around the turn. So just a great race by Luxor Cafe. And we're going to talk in a later video about what a big win means leading up to the Kentucky Derby. It really is a very, very powerful factor. But Luxor Cafe, in that last race, posted a 119 Racing Post rating. Now, many American fans will not be familiar with Racing Post ratings, but they're a UK product, if you will. And it's something that if you look at how horses have done in the Kentucky Derby from that standpoint, looking at the Racing Post ratings, you'll find that a 119 rating is almost good enough to win the Kentucky Derby. These are the Racing Post ratings for the last 4 winners of the Kentucky Derby going back to 2021. I didn't want to include 2020 because that was the year it was run in September. And so horses obviously mature. I don't think it's a fair comparison. And of course, there was like a 123 Racing Post rating for the winner in that race. But you'll notice the average Racing Post rating, RPR, so I don't have to keep saying that, for the Kentucky Derby winner, 120.5. The place horse, 119.8. Now, these are somewhat like some of the figs in that trip and those kinds of things matter. And so you'll notice in 2022, Rich Strike had a 120 RPR, whereas Epicenter, who finished second, actually had a higher rating at 122. But about a 119 for the second place finisher in the Kentucky Derby, a 118 for the average show horse in the Kentucky Derby. So already Luxor Cafe is right there in terms of the ratings. And that's one of the things that makes him so dangerous. Also, the ease of his victories. Now, here's something that's interesting as well. When Luxor Cafe faced Admire Daytona in a race I can pronounce, the Hyacinth, it looks close on paper. You'll notice that Luxor Cafe only won by a half a length, and Admire Daytona was back by 3 1/4. But if you watch the running of that race, it's never really close. In fact, at one point, the two horses are about a length apart, and Luxor Cafe just dominates. And even the half-length victory, I feel, was a little misleading in that he just didn't appear to be putting in that much effort. This is a very, very serious horse. Now, what makes it tough is that the Japanese tend to train their horses a little bit different than their American counterparts. And so you're going to see a lot of long gallops. You're not going to see probably much on the work tab, and that does make it a little bit tricky. But I would absolutely keep your eyes on Luxor Cafe leading to the Kentucky Derby. Now, I will tell you that a lot of horses like this tend to be the wise guy horse. They tend to get over bet. So you are going to have to obviously watch the odds. But just from a win standpoint, I think Luxor Cafe stands a very good shot of winning. Thanks for watching. I'll have more of these videos leading up to the Kentucky Derby. I think I am going to do a Kentucky Derby guide. So I'll have news and notes on that soon. Thanks again.